Hey guys, welcome back to Future Dimensions 360. I want you guys to be excited in today's tutorial a bit because in today's tutorial we will be implementing a complete project in which we will be hitting some sort of APIs. As you guys know, in our last tutorial we had implemented a TikTok to a game. And in this tutorial series, in each tutorial we are implementing a complete React example. So for today's tutorial, I had already prepared some sort of backends by using Node.js, you can say. We will be learning those later on in the coming series as well. But right now the APIs are ready and we are bringing some sort of recipe data from the APIs. Like you guys can see, this is the API in which we are bringing some sort of data. We will be implementing an application and show this data in our front end. So as I told you from the beginning, that React is a kind of front-end framework or a library in which you can implement your front-end, or you can build a very like up to mark, or very, like you can say, intelligent framework, intelligent front-end, or very useful or very handy front-end in React.js. So in today's tutorial we will be implementing that. So without wasting a time, let's move forward and try to implement that one. I had created an application by using npx create react app because I don't want to waste time. So I had created that one and it's already here, up, live and running, and I had integrated Tailwind CSS in it already. Let's move forward and try to remove the boilerplate code a bit. I will be removing the header as well today. So I have just an app class available here. Let's move to our class also, our CSS as well, and let's try to remove each and everything. So that's it. Let's go back to our our browser. You guys can see a complete white page is appearing. So in our source, as we want, we are creating a component folder. Okay, then we will be creating another folder called utils. Inside utils there will be a helper folder, helper. Inside that one we will be placing our helpers. Okay, helpers, and then we will be having components. It will be a components folder. S will be there as well. Other than that, we will be having some folder called hooks, as you guys know. Then there will be a folder called shared, and yeah, that's it. That's pretty cool until now. So let's say for hitting those APIs, first of all, what we need is some sort of library to go on with that. I will be using Axios. Let me go ahead. By the way, let's remove this one also, so we will get rid of this warning as well. So sudo npm I Axios. I will be installing Axios in my project. So let's see once the Axios is installed. Yeah, let's make it up again and running. That's it. Let me make it down. Sorry, let me make it let's make it up back again. Very sorry. Yeah, so let me make it down back again. Yeah, that's it. So now it's better. We have already Axios installed in our project. Let's go to our helper folder and create a new file called server.js. Okay, inside server.js, what I will do here is I will import Axios package, Axios from Axios package. That's it. Now what I want here is const Axios client. I will be creating a client equals to Axios dot create. I will be creating an Axios client by using some default setting that will take a base URL as an input. This base URL you can put it in environment variables also, and you can create another file like this, like for example folder called constants, and inside that one you can say new file called constants constants.json. Okay, inside this JSON you will be creating like base URL for the server, or you can say server base URL, server server base URL. And what it will be, let's move back to our browser and you guys can see my base URL is until v2. Okay, until v2 is my base URL. Okay, then if in case of recipes, we are finding recipes. In case of like any other thing, we will be finding other things like, for example, products or anything else. Okay, let's move back and try to put this one as our base URL. So let's import our base URL also. Let's say import, I can say configuration data data from where I have to import. I will say go back up and then go to constant and then constants.json. Then configuration data will be configuration data dot server base URL. Okay, second variable will be headers. What headers we want to pass? I want my default headers will be content type, and it will be what I will say application slash JSON. Always I want it to be in JSON. Second thing is always authorization. So in my case, we are not going on to implement logins. Later on we will be implementing, that time we will be seeing that as well. But for your information, we can pass like bearer token in this way, like this, and I can say like this, and then here there will be like token or something like that. Let's say I will say const token equals to an empty string. Okay, so like this you can create your Axios client. Then you have to do few things. One thing is Axios dot interceptors dot response dot use. Whenever the response will come, what you have to use, this use function will take two parameters as an input, and both those parameters I will be passing function as an input. Okay, second one will be the function as well. The first one will be the one that will take response as an input when the Axios request is successful. When you are hitting the backend and you are getting success response, this function will be called. When you are hitting the server and your request failed, any kind of error appears in this, what you have to do, you have to show alert, and that alert will show that something went wrong. Okay, let me go ahead to my browser and I will say there is Toastify and React.js. There is this one library, react.toastify, we can use to create very nice effects in our alert messages. So let's go ahead and try to install this one in our project, and we will be using this for alerts. Okay, so let's say if I will go into my terminal back again, I'll stop it. I'll say sudo npm I and react.toastify, and let me pass my password here back again. Let's install Toastify library in our React project and let's make it up again. So the project is up again. So now what we have to do here is we have to pass toast instead of alert. So what is the way to pass toast is, first of all, you have to import this CSS and toast container where in your app.js. Okay, you will not be using your toast, just toast container will be a part of your app.js. That's it. And then in your server.js, what you will do here is you will use, instead of alert, you will use toast dot, you can say error, and it will show error, something went wrong. Okay, you guys can see here how errors will appear. It will appear in this way. See, this is the second one is error, the first one is information, and the third one is warning, and the last green one is success. Okay, You can put the position as well for all your React messages, React Toastify messages, that you can, like, by yourself, you can go into the documentation from here and you can verify it. You can check it in details. Okay. And then in this scenario, what you have to return directly response if it's successful. If it's error, show the message and then return what? Return promise dot reject. You have to reject the promise and you have to pass this error back to your promise from where you are calling that promise. This is how your server is centralized and you can call any kind of API with your server base URL. Let me close this, let me close this, and let me close this as well. Now what we want here is we want to have a header. So let's say I can say header is a new folder, and inside that one there will be a new file called header.js. Okay, not header.js. Inside this one I will say navbar.js. I will be needing one navbar. So let's go ahead and try to search navbar. There are some navbars available, Navbar, Tailwind with React.js. There are a lot of navbars available with Tailwind React.js. We will go on to Flowbyte to copy some kind of navbar for our project. So there's one like this, not good. There is another one like this, not better. We will be needing some sort of navbar in which we can add search as well. So let's move forward. This is also not applicable. Yeah, this is much better. Yeah, much better here. And yes, that's better. Let's check more if we can find something more in our navbar. Not now. Yeah, I believe this one is fine. So let's go on and copy the code for this one. So let me copy this code and I will be saying RFC React functional component. Inside this one I will be pasting the full navbar component as it is directly. Okay, so let me close this div, let me make it more forward, and there are a few errors. How we can resolve those? This input closing tag is not there. For sure we have to pass this closing tag. Okay, other than this there is another error with this input and there is another closing tag is missing. So let me hit save and you guys can see like there are some li that's passing home, about, and services. So let me import this one as navbar here. So I will be needing navbar like this. Okay, so navbar is imported, the class, Control C, Control F. I will be changing that class to class name all directly. So like class equals to class name equals to, change all of them directly without any break. So you guys can see Flowbyte is appearing. So this some icon, it's like a kind of image appearing. Let's keep the same one, not a big deal. So I will say here it will be a recipe finder, RECIPE recipe finder will be our application. Then we will be having a home page and we will see like after recipe finder I will be having this search. So I can say, for example, here whatever I'm writing it will appear as a search here. Okay, if I will make it into inspect element, let me go forward, and in the phone mobile version it will be looking like this something. Okay, it will be looking like this. So like right now for desktop version is fine. Let's move forward with desktop version only. So let me remove this one. I believe flags, this is hidden, so that's mean this is for the mobile version. Let's remove this one, it will be better. Or let's say I will be removing this for the mobile version, and instead of this 3 I will be using, like, for example, let me keep the same, like home, about, and services. So for us it will be recipe list, home, and that's it. I think I don't need this one as well. So let's try to remove this also, not a big deal. Let's remove this as well. So here whatever we will write, it will bring for us recipes. Recipes will appear here, all of them. Let me give some background color to our project. Let me go forward and try to move it forward. Yeah, that's better. So what I want now, I had imported a navbar already. So the search need to be in app. What will be the search? Const and search search, and I will say set search, and that search will be use state, and it will be an empty string. Okay, so it will go search and set search, both will go where? In navbar as a props. Search equals to search, and then set search equals to set search. Okay, so in navbar, just take these props as a parameter. 1 2 3 props as a parameter. So this one will be our icon button search, and this is our open main menu. Remove this one as well, no need, and this one as well, no need. No, this is an icon, search icon, we need this one, and then let's move it forward. Let's move this one also forward. This is an API and search icon. Yeah, much better now. So for example, if I will be using this, the value, for example, I keep the value here is 1 1 2 3. Okay, let's keep it here text. ID no need, remove it, because we will be making it as a control component. So ID we don't need it, and the rest is placeholder, and the last one we will be moving here. So let's say value equals to props dot search. Okay, and let's destructure props. Const, what will be our props? It will be, for example, equals to props, and what will be our props? We will copy paste these two variables values, return from the props. That will be our props. So let's move forward, and we will remove this props, and search will be directly there. So you guys can see 1 2 3 appears here. What will happen here on change? What we have to do on change, we have to set what? Search to what? Event dot current is an event dot current target dot value. Whatever the value will be, we can set it up in this search, and that search is coming actually from app.js. So we are able to set up this. Okay, so let's say pretty good. Let's move forward to our inspector. We will be needing our inspector. Close this one. Let's make it a little bit up, and let's go to console. Control Shift R. Did you mean by stroke width, stroke line join, and stroke line cap? So let's come up. This one should be this. This, and this is your this one, and stroke width will be like this. Control Shift R. App development, it's still there. We have another SVG also. I think this one is another SVG. Let's try to remove this button. So let's say this is exactly fine. That's an extra button, we can remove it, not a big deal. Whenever you are copying the code, you have to check, like, whatever things are unnecessary, you have to discard them by yourself. So now we can make separate component for this input as well. It's up to us. Like, for example, if I want this to be in a separate component, I will say new folder called input. Okay, inside this input, I will be creating a new file called input.js rfc react functional component, and it will take props as a parameter. Okay, destructuring of props as a parameter, and then I will copy this input directly. Control X. I'll keep it here as input. Okay, so this one should be like this, and then I will be passing the props from here to that one, and we will be using the same method of destructuring the props like this. Okay, then I will be passing here the input directly after search icon like this. I will say input like this directly, and we have to pass these search icons like this. In case you want these SVGs icons, like this is a search icon SVG, I will be copying this one also. For example, I will say a new folder called SVG, and I will create a new file inside it, search icon svg.js. RFC React functional component inside this one. I will copy this one and directly I will paste inside this as a child parameter. So it will be a search icon SVG directly. Okay. So here I will be needing search icon SVG. That's it. See, the results are appearing exactly the same. And for example, this is my logo and I want this logo always. So I will be creating another file called folder called logo, and inside this logo I will be creating a new file called logo.js RFC React functional component, and I'll copy this logo from here. I'll paste it here like this. So this is centralized. Now anywhere I need logo, I can use directly the same logo. Okay, so logo, that's it. This one just change the name, rename to SVG. Okay, SVG, make it capital, and this one is fine. Yeah, that's okay. It's giving an error, no problem, because the Visual Code is not identifying that this S is updated. If I'll close my Visual Code and reopen it again, it will not give an error to me. So like this, our navbar is ready. Now what we need, the next thing is let's go on to our container. Let's go to our let's close this logo input and shell folder. Inside our components, create a new folder called container. Okay, inside this container I'll be creating a new file called container. Okay, RFC React functional component, sorry, it will be I forgot to add .js at the end. .js RFC React functional component, it will be RFC React functional component, and inside that component now we will design our container. Later on we will design our container. Sorry, let's try to import this container inside our app.js file first and try to pass our search value here. We will not be passing set search here because we don't need to set this search from the containers. So inside container, what we need here, first of all, we need to achieve the functionality of component did mount. Use effect. Okay, so use effect will allow us to achieve the functionality of component did mount. Okay, and inside this we will be passing 1 2 3 props as well, and here we will be using const, and that const will be destructing search value from props. Okay, so we will need this props by all means. So what I want, this use effect should call as soon as the search value is changed. Okay, second thing is Axios Client. Let's import Axios Client as well. We have exported it? Let's go to Axios Client, and I will say I didn't export it. Export default Axios Client. Okay, let's import it here. Axios Client. I will write here, it will give me a suggestion directly. Axios Client dot get. What I have to get now, I had passed until version 2 directly as it is as version 2 as my base URL. If you guys can go here, guys can see my base URL is in the constants, and this is until version 2. Okay, so after that, whatever the link I want to follow, that is recipes, I can pass it here like recipes and then question mark and then my search variable, serch search variable. It should be dynamic because I want to pass my search variable inside it equal to, and this will be a dynamic search variable. And then after that I will say call then function, and then in then function I will be passing resp response as a parameter, and this callback will show me toast dot success, and what I will say, results fetched. Okay, that's it. So I am getting the result. Let's do console as well now. Console.log, and that will be response.data. So let's go back to our browser. You guys can see results fetched successfully, and if I will say my initial should be equals to, and let's try to remove this also and this also, and for example I want tortilla. So you guys can see my result is appearing here, recipes are empty. Okay, so if I say tortilla, I need tortilla. So if I will close this here, from here as well, let me try to pass this one here. You guys can see now I will be having some results here, recipes. So these recipes are the actually thing that we want. Okay, so let's go forward, move forward, try to remove this one. It will just make like extra burden on us, then catch and then error. We just want it to show in the terms of error. Whenever this is whenever there is an error, I want this error to be shown in the you can say in the toast. So ERROR. Yeah, that's it. That's much better now. I'm getting this thing. So let's make this one here const, and I will say recipes, RECIPES recipes, and set RECIPES recipes equals to use state, and initially the value will be, just keep it empty. And you guys can see set, if it's appearing set, or let's check like that status is, for example, if response dot data, for example, response dot data dot status double equals to, and it's SUCC ESS success. This is success, SUCC ESS success. Then what you have to do is you have to set up the set recipes. Okay, you have to set up the recipes. What recipes you will be setting up? Response dot data dot data again, and then recipes dot data again, and then dot data, response dot data, and then again data, and then then data, and then RECIPES recipes. Otherwise just show an error, toast dot error. We will say toast dot error, and that is we can say something went wrong. That will be our error message only. Right now we are not going on to identify any kind of errors and details, so that's it. That's much better. So here what we will do here in this container, actually I want to have a grid with 4 columns by all means to show the values of to show the recipes. So I will be showing grid dash calls dash 4. Okay, so once the screen is small, I want to show it 1 column. Once the screen is mid, I will show grid calls 2, and once it's LG, I want grid calls 4. 4 columns I want in the large screen. So now what I want here is recipes dot map, I have to map what? RECEPIE, recipe, RECIPE, recipe. Okay, it will be a recipe, then an arrow function, and it will return what? I will say a div, and this div will show me what? This div will show me the recipe. For example, in h1 tag, I will say an h1 tag will show recipe dot title. Let's say recipe dot title. Let me show you guys recipe dot title title, but this one should be in brackets, and then index will be there also, that I will pass as key as index. Let's hit save, and you guys can see Control Shift R cannot read the properties of undefined. So let's pass an AND or shift operators here. So in case if the recipes are empty, no need to show anything. Okay, so let's copy this tortilla. Straight away come here and I will pass it here, and you guys can see tortilla salad, tortilla roll up, tortilla chicken soup, and all that stuff is appearing. Let's pass some gap as well to the columns. Gap -4 will be better. So you guys can see now there is some sort of gap here as well. And let me go ahead and I will say P-12 inside padding also I need. Yeah, pretty cool now. Much better. So let's move forward to our shared folder and try to create a new file, new folder called recipe. Recipe, RECIPE, recipe card. And then inside this one I will be creating new file called recipe card.js. Okay, RFC React functional component. Inside it I will be taking some props, and these props are destructuring here as I will be passing this recipe as a props here. So let's try to destructure it from the props. Yeah, very sorry guys, this is my first time, long video, so I'll try to explain it as much as possible I can. Yeah, let's try to move this h1 and this one inside this. Control X, let's move it here. Okay, and we don't need this index keys, and this lets me just save it this one, and then here I'll say recipe card, like this it will be. Yeah, much better now, recipe card, and we will be passing recipe as props as well, so our error is gone. Now if I write tortilla, you guys can see the recipes are appearing. Okay, and if I will write something salad, the recipes are appearing as well. You guys can see a lot of salads are appearing now. And anything like if I will write like chicken, it's appearing as well. If I will write pizza also appearing. So you guys can see as soon as I'm writing something, my recipes are appearing. Let me try to make some sort of card, good card here. So I'll say product card. Let's copy something from, again, Flowbyte. Where is Flowbyte? Flowbyte. I will go to Flowbyte and I will search here products cards. So there are some e-commerce card will appear here for the products. Let's try to check if something matches to our this is what I'm doing is because I want to save time. Let's copy this one, that's better. Let me copy this one. Yeah, and let's try to go on to our this one in our recipe. Yeah, I had pasted it directly. So let's see, this is how you can pass this one. Control C, Control F, and equals to, we will change it to class name. Let's change all together, and here is it. And for the image, what I want here is I want the source to be what? To be our recipe dot, what is the source here? If I will go to recipe, the source is image URL. So an alternate tag is recipe dot title. So I'll say recipe dot title, just pass this one as an alternative tag, and then h5 will be like this. Let me go ahead, and h5 will be, for example, we will move them to separate h5s later on. Just right now, for the meantime, let's go on like this. And recipe dot title and paragraph, I will put that as well. In the meantime, just go forward. You guys can see like our recipes are appearing much better now. Let's move forward and try, instead of p5 I will say p5 minus 2. That will be much better, and px minus 2 as well. Okay, so let's try to arrange the text a little bit. Also, let's make the text to lg, okay, for the h5, and this p should be, for example, I will keep it as, no need to add mb3 and mb2. I will add like this, p minus, for example, flex dash call, and then gap minus 2 and p minus 2 as well. So px minus 2 will be okay. P minus 2 is fine also. So you guys can see much better now. This read more is appearing as well here. Let me try to make it more mature, and this text size, if I will make it as text dash sm, it will be better. You guys can see, or extra small. Let's make it extra small. Text dash sm is not appearing. Okay, let me go on with this, and I will make it, I'll remove this extra text all, and I will put something here. What I will put, let's go ahead to single recipe. Let's go ahead to recipe and check publisher 101. Let's put the publisher name here as well. Recipe dot, I will say publisher. Let me copy this publisher name here. So yeah, that's it. And then image URL is here, title is here as well, ID is there also, and that's it. This is what we are appearing. And let's go back to our this one. You guys can see our recipes now. Let's change it to chicken chickens. You guys can see our chicken recipes start appearing. The images are not up to mark, so we can make them as up to mark also by what we can say, h dash, for example h dash 24. Let's keep h dash 24. Not okay, h dash 24. Let's make it h 54, or 54 is too big. Let's make 34. No, let's make it 24 again back. It's very small. So let's make it 38. It's better. No, 36. Yep, much better now. And w, there are tailwind classes called cover, bg dash image cover tailwind. Let me go on and show you object dash cover like this. Object dash cover, it will be object dash cover and w dash full. So it will appear in the center now. You guys can see all the images are exactly same now. There is no cut, no up and down for the images. If you have more text, for sure it will go to second line. Other than that, all your images are much better, in much better condition now. Okay, so all your chicken recipes are appearing, and you can implement pagination also. Let's go to salad and check salads as well. You guys can see your salads are appearing here as well, and read more will take you to the next page. So read more and next page, I believe we will be coming up in the next tutorial, and I will be sharing you guys with the recap of this tutorial and read more as well in the coming tutorial. I hope you guys understand it. In case of any question, any query, Don't forget to you can email us, you can comment us in our same video as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe our channel, and see you in the next video with read more, and we will be implementing the detail of the same same project or same recipe. Any recipe you will be clicking, and you will for that you will be moving forward in the detail of that recipe, and we will show in the page all the details as well. So that's it. Thank you guys. Goodbye. Take care. See you in the next tutorial. Take care.